Hello and welcome to Dr. Rachel's classroom. Today in this video we will be discussing composite break-even point. Composite break-even point is a combined break-even point or an overall break-even point of a business concern. It is calculated only when a business concern makes two or more products. So we'll be discussing a couple of problems under this concept. Let's quickly move into the video. The first sum is about a company with three different products, P, Q and R, with three different selling price and variable cost. They've also given us the fixed cost and the weightage for each product. We are asked to calculate the BEP for this concern. So to find the break-even point, first we need to calculate the contribution. Contribution is calculated by deducting variable cost from selling price. They have given the details in the question, so we are using it to find the contribution. PV ratio is contribution divided by selling price. So we are finding the PV ratio for each of the product and we are multiplying the PV, individual PV ratio into the weightage given. And we are adding each of the answers like 0.10 plus 0.15 plus 0.30 will give you the composite PV ratio of 0.55. So the composite break-even point is fixed cost divided by the composite PV ratio. So fixed cost here is 14,80,000 divided by 0.55. The answer for this question is 26,90,909 rupees. Let's quickly see one more example. Here a company is manufacturing two components, component X and Y, with two different selling price. And they have different production levels also. For X they are producing 20,000 units and Y they are producing 16,000 units. They have given the variable cost. They have not given the variable cost per unit. So to find the variable cost per unit, you simply have to divide this variable cost by the units. So 1,20,000 divided by 20,000 will give you the variable cost per unit. They've also given the fixed cost for each of these units. Now let's see what they've asked us to find. They've asked us to find the break-even for each component in units, and they've also asked us to find the break-even for the company, whole company as a whole. That is, they have asked us to find the composite break-even point. They've also asked us to find the amount of profit that the company is making. So let's first see how to calculate the break-even point for each component. First we need to find the contribution. So selling price minus variable cost. Like I told you, they have given the variable cost total. So you have to find the variable cost per unit. So we have divided by the total by the number of units. And we have found the variable cost per unit. So the BEP in units is fixed cost divided by contribution. Fixed cost for each component they have given 20,000, 32,000. So you are dividing it by the contribution of each of these components and we are able to arrive at the answers. Now to answer the second question, composite break-even point. So you have to first find the PV ratio for each of the component. Contribution divided by selling price. For component X, the contribution is 4 and the selling price is 10 into 100. We get the answer 40%. For component Y, the contribution is 8 divided by the selling price 24. So the PV ratio is 33.33%. We are going to multiply it by the sales mix ratio. Unlike the previous example that we saw, they have not given the weightage or the selling mix ratio. So we have to find the selling mix ratio. How do we find the selling mix ratio is that this 10 rupees is the selling price into the number of units that you are selling. So 10 into 20,000 units of component X is 2 lakhs and Y is 24 selling price. 24 into number of units sold of component Y. So 24 into 16,000, you get 3,84,000. So the ratio of this is 25:48. If you add this, you will get 73. So this PV ratio into 25, that is your X divided by the total of 25 plus 48 is 73 into 100. By adding these two answers, you will get the composite PV ratio. Once you've got the composite PV ratio, then you can find the BEP in value. So fixed cost of component X plus component Y, 20 plus 32,000, you get 52,000 divided by the composite PV ratio. You get the composite break-even point, which is 1,45,985. If you want to identify how much each component has contributed to this composite break-even point, you can simply multiply it by the ratio 25 by 73 and 48 by 73. You will be able to find out of 1,45,985 rupees how much is each component contributing. Alright. So now to answer the last question, how much profit does the company make? So to find the profit, we can use the formula contribution minus fixed cost. We already have found the contribution as for X component it is 4 and for Y it is 8. So you are multiplying that into the number of units sold and you are finding the total contribution value in value. Minus fixed cost will give you the profit. You can find the individual profit as well as the total profit. This 60,000 and 96,000 is the individual profits. When you combine it, you will get the composite profit earned by the company. Thank you.